everyone, welcome to the channel. I am glad that you're here. This is Diamonds and Doxies. My name is Leanne, and we're gonna do, I guess like a daily vlog, and we're gonna work on this kit here, which is Sugar Skull Dachshund from Art and Soul. It's a 50 by 64 centimeter, and it is square, and it has 3 ABs and 2 soul dust. And it appears that all of this blue color, this gorgeous blue color, is AB. So at first I was like, oh no, but my alien putty works really good, and so far it hasn't been as horrible as it can be sometimes. So anyway, I have been in love with this kit. I was apprehensive. I'm always apprehensive when trying a new company because, it's like, well, I've tried some, a couple of new companies, and it's like, yeah, okay. Or new to me companies. I shouldn't say new companies, but new to me companies. And so I was like, well, I'll order one and see, because so many people really like them. And boy, yeah, I do too. The drills are amazing, and there's no gapping. And that's my biggest complaint, is no gapping. So anyway, yeah. And obviously I just finished this one section here. So right there, now moving on to this section here. I'm using my cute little cover minder to keep me happy that Gems Divine sent to me. She sent me another one as well, but I'm going to use this one with this kit. And of course, it's got dachshunds on it, right? So I have to. My release papers are also dachshunds, and these came from Bee's Crafty Corner. And my pen came from Enabler's Outpost. I probably should have changed my pen, but we're here now. It's fine. It's kind of like with purses for me. I don't switch them, because then I got to take my thingamabobs, my placers out, and I don't want to. So anyway, let's get started, so I can tell you about, first of all, what an idiot I am. Let's see, I'm going to just pull this off here and then put this up here. Let's see, try to get it as straight as I can. Yep, that works. And then I'll put this back, and then of course I'm using my ArtDots. This is from the 4-drawer storage system that I use. If I remember, I will link it down below. I have a tendency to say I'm going to link something and then I forget. My tray is from Bijou Bliss. I got this last year during Drills and Chills, and this kit works for Drills and Chills and for a small shop fall festival. So got the magnets on it. I like that. So I'm going to put my little Doxies up here so I can see them. And then we'll pick out a color, and then we'll get started on my stupidity thing I did. All right, ABs over here. So I believe I feel like I posted it. I don't know. I don't remember now, but I thought I had cracked my camera lens or whatever. So, as soon as it came out that I could pre-order a new iPhone, I was like, oh yes, this has to happen, and it has to happen fast, or else I'm going to be without a camera, and that's just not going to work. So, of course, I was like, yes, I want to do a trade-in, and I had to click on, yes, I had a cracked camera, and I was like, dagnabbit, because they were like, okay, well, we can only give you $180, and I was like, well, that's better than a poke in the eye, so, beggars can't be choosers. I'll take it. So then, today, I dropped my phone again. I have never dropped my phone so much as I have this one in the last couple of months. So I looked, and I was like, well, I'll be darned. Now it's even worse. Now it's on another one, and, it's really messed up. So I was like, well, how does it look if I try to film something or use my camera even? And y'all, it had prisms all around it. It was, yeah. I was like, nope, this isn't going to work. So then I did a Google search, and, you can get those replaced. So I wanted to do that today because I wanted to film a video today. But my house was going to be shown at 1:45, so I was like, okay, well, after my house is done being shown, because we'll go, and so while my house is getting shown, I always go stay with Max, because he's, again, right next door. So me and the pups go over there, and when I get over there, I was like, can you believe it? My phone is cracked even more. I've got to get it fixed. And he was like, how is it cracked? And he goes, let me see it. So he looked at it, and he goes, well, your phone looks different than mine. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, look at my camera. Mine doesn't have that thing on top of it. He goes, are you sure that's not like a part of the case that you had or something? And I was like, what? No. He goes, well, do you remember adding that? And I was like, no. But, having said that, it's also, 2 years old, I think. Yeah, I think it's about 2 years old. So I'm like, I don't remember doing it, but... And so I looked at his phone, and I was like, sure enough, his didn't look like mine. Now, his is a year older than mine, but still, it was like the camera looks the same. So I kind of fiddled with it a little bit, and I was like, I'll be darned. I believe this was part of that case, and I had to take my case off because I was trying to use this. I had gotten a new arm to film with, and it has that magnet on it, but with my case on it, it did not want to, it didn't want to charge, or not charge, it doesn't charge it, but it didn't want to hold on, and so I was like, well, let me take that off. And so I thought, because I took that off and still continued to drop my phone, that I had cracked the camera. Well, what had happened was, no wonder I had a hard time getting the darn camera case off, or the phone case off, because it was that part on the camera was part of the case. I don't remember these things, come on. And so, anyway, so it looked like it'd move a little bit. So Max had a little pen knife, and so I got that and pried it off, and guess what? It was just a case. My camera is just fine. It is not cracked, and I'm like, get out of town. So I was like, well, at least I don't, I didn't go down there to go, can you fix this? And they go, sure, and just flip it right off, right? And, but now I'm like, well, now I want to redo my estimate for a trade-in, because obviously it's not broken. So I don't know if I can do that or not. But anyway, so I had been trying to put off doing a video because it was like, this camera is just not right. It's just not right. So, yeah, anyway. But I don't remember it coming with something to cover up the camera as well, but obviously it did. So anyway, and then the second stupid thing I did, I've been getting my nails done for many, many years, I mean, like maybe 30 years. Sometimes, I did acrylic, and then I did gel, and then, I think I did pretty much all of them. And then I've even just taken a break and done just basic manicures. But I've always had my nails done, and my toes. Well, my toes, I got my first pedicure at 35, and I was like, why did I wait so long? It just seemed like such a luxury. Now I consider pedicures, a necessity. But anyway, I had an appointment, like, I don't know, gosh, 6 weeks ago, I guess, and I canceled it because I was going to have a showing on my house, and, if you remember correctly, we were in the midst of buying a house, and that was all up in the air, and we were meeting people over at the house, and, it was just a big old busy moment, so I had to cancel my appointment and say, I will call you and reschedule soon. And I've been going to the same ladies now for many years. And, well, I haven't gotten back. So I was like, you know, I hear about these. I see some of the different content creators and stuff, and they use the, you know, the press-on nails. And I'm like, you know, my last experience with press-on nails was probably 50 years ago when I was a kid. And it was the Lee press-on nails. And they were, well, they were crap. And, I mean, they were designed to last for like a day, maybe. So, but apparently they're all new now. So I went to Walgreens. And they must have had, they had so many different ones. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't want long ones. And I don't have very big nails. My nails are small. So I was like, I don't know, you know, this says it's got 28 tips, you know, surely there's going to be some to fit my nails. And I finally just broke down and got the Sally Hansen because I was like, you know, at least I know that brand. So then I got home with them and I was like, all right, let me see how this works. This was last night. I was like, let me see how this works. Because I'm tired of having naked nails. So I read the instructions and it came with some nail glue, but it also came with adhesive tabs. And I was like, well, what should I do? And I was like, well, I'd probably make less of a mess if I use these adhesive. You know, they're two-sided adhesive. You put put it down on your nail and then stick this on top of it, and yeah. So I did that, and y'all, they are so tacky. I mean, maybe if you're looking straight down, they're not so bad, but can you see? I mean, I can feel the ridge, okay? I can feel it sticking up. So I think I probably should have used glue, but they're too big. I mean, like, look at that. Look at that. See how big that is? Because you see my nail is very curved, and these aren't really curved. And so it doesn't really fit my nail. And I got short, but this nail's a little, you know, anyway. Yeah, I'm not very happy with it. So what I need to do is just, you know, call and make an appointment and go get my nails done and just get a manicure. And my gosh, I need a pedicure so bad. I mean, honestly, I could give up doing my nails and just keep them real short, you know. But pedicure is just an absolute necessity these days because I get, you know, ingrown toenails and yeah. So anyway, so that's why they look the way they do. But like I said, I think if you're looking at them, just wait a minute, what am I doing? If you're just looking at them straight on, then they look okay unless you know what you're looking at. And I can feel them, and it's like, no. And of course, now I'm afraid to do anything when I'm out and about because, you know, I'm afraid they're going to pop off, which I'm sure they would. And I was like, I don't want to be out and about. And, even with alien putty, these are just falling off. So I did do all of this with this alien putty, so that may be why. So anyway, so that was my shenanigans. That I feel so stupid on the phone, though. It's like, my gosh, how did I not know this? But I didn't. So anyway, and then, okay, so updates on the house. Demo is almost done. We met the contractor over there this morning, and, you know, I asked him how long until we could move in, and he said, he didn't actually. He did not say. He just said, oh, well, once the demo gets done, we'll start moving along. It's only going to take 3 to 4 days to get the cabinets in. But he never said when. So I was like, you sly little devil, you. But anyway, we wanted him to do some more stuff to the house. So he's going to paint the outside, fix all the rotting wood, We also had yesterday, my gosh, it was a zoo over there at that house. We had the tree guys come out because, as I told y'all, we've got some trees that, it's a wooded acre lot, right? But there are some trees that were dead and some that were leaning. I mean, like the roots were coming up out of the ground, right? And they were leaning onto our house or our fence. So it was like, I was so afraid that we were going to get a hurricane that was going to just knock them all into our new roof, because we just got a new roof. And so anyway, so that got taken care of, and y'all, that was 22 trees, 22 1/4, because we have a big old pecan tree that I'm sure is older than the house itself. That I mean, we said from the get-go, it looked like maybe the house was built around the pecan tree. And one of them, there's 4 main branches coming off, and one of them was leaning this way towards the house, and it was already starting to rot. So it was like, ugh. And that would have taken out our dormers. It would have taken out our chimney. I mean, it just, yeah. So he was like, that's got to come out. So we're like, yeah, we kind of thought so. So we did that, and now all of the trees except for 3 of them were on the side of our house, but all the rest of them were in the backyard. And I had to move my bird feeder because, you know, they're going to be chopping down trees right by where I had my bird feeder. But I was happy to see today that where I moved my bird feeder, the chickadees were there. So, and I forgot to hang up the mealworm feeder because something knocked it down. I guess they did, but I swore I saw it after they were done, and it was not on the ground, but I don't know, maybe. But anyway, it was on the ground, so I needed to put that up, and I forgot. That's okay. I'll do it tomorrow. So I was happy to see the chickadees there, but man, there's a lot more sunlight now, which is fine because, you know, there were some little straggly, skinny trees that were trying to grow, you know, but they didn't have much room. So now they'll be able to grow, so that's good, you know. And then we'd like to put some grass. There is 0 grass in this yard. There is like a weed ground cover, but it's weeds, you know. But, you know, we would like to have some grass. We want to leave the vast majority of the house natural. Let it just go very natural. And, I mean, it would be fine with me if you couldn't see the house from the street. I would be absolutely content with that. So, yeah, we absolutely want to do that. But up around the house, it would be nice to have some grass. So, yeah, I think now we can do grass. But, of course, we're going to wait until, because we got a bid on gutters. And let me ask y'all something. So, of course, the gutters that are up there are like a cream color, white, whatever, I don't know. Just your basic color, right? And that's the color I have on this house, and it's the color I've had on all the houses I've ever had with gutters, right? And this guy comes out of left field. He goes, you know, your roof is black, and your shutters are black, you know, and all the vents and stuff on your roof are black. He goes, you should consider getting black gutters. And I was like, excuse me? Black gutters? Have you lost your mind? What is this madness? Do they even come in black? Well, yes, they do. And so I was like, well, I don't know. So I called my friend, and I was like, what do you think about black gutters? And she was like, well, with red brick. And she was like, I said, I can see it with the white house, and you know, that's got black on it, because that seems to be the rage, which also happens to be what her house looks like. So she was like, oh, I don't think so. But then after she found out that, she goes, oh, okay, well, I forgot you'd got a new roof. I didn't know what color it was. So long story short, we are going with the black gutters. So I do think it'll look good, and we're going to paint our front door black. yeah. So I think it'll be fine because it's the front door does not get the west sun like I get here at this house. So, you know, who knows? Maybe one day we'll even just get a new door because, you know, I really like my door that I have here. But, yeah. So, and then in other news, so Sunday I had 2 showings on my house, which was a lot. And one of them, because, you know, like I've told y'all, I have security cameras, right? So I have security cameras, so I can see, you know, my camera shines into I have inside my house is in the den and a part of the kitchen and the dining room, and you can see the entryway. And so I can see when people are there, and I can, you know, I can't hear them. I mean, there's no audio or anything, but I can tell by their body language and whatnot. And I thought, man, this real estate agent is really selling this house. She seems so excited to be showing this house to this man. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I was like, wow, she really is excited. So, you know, I told my agent, I said, wow, I think, you know, I think this might end up being something. So anyway, so I asked her this morning, I said, did you ever hear any feedback? And she said, all it said was they were very interested. And I said, okay. Well, then I had another showing today, and that lady came and she stayed, gosh, I'm guessing 30 minutes. And, you know, she seemed very interested as well. And so, you know, once that was over, then Max and I had to go up to the post office. So we hadn't left very long, and Amanda calls me, and every time she says, how are you? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. How am I? And so she was like, well, she goes, okay, so the lady is very interested. And I'm like, really? And she said, yeah. And she said, and she's an agent. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. This lady came with an agent, and it was a man. And she wouldn't be calling you herself. She had an agent. And she goes, well, wait a minute. Let me look. And she was like, oh, you're right. This is she goes, okay, so what it was, the man that I thought this real estate agent was showing the house to was her husband. And they live further away, and he likes to golf here at this golf course. And so I got the impression that he was a member, but they live, a good 30, 45 minutes away. So depending on traffic, right? So, anyway, she said they weren't even in the market. They weren't looking, but then she saw this one and mine, and she was like, oh, we've got to go see this because this house ticks all our boxes. So, you know, the golf course is right across the street, so you could absolutely drive your golf cart right onto to where the putting green is, to the clubhouse. And so anyway, she just fell in love with the house, and so she wants to buy the house. Her and her husband want to buy the house. But, you know, if an offer sounds too good. So she was willing to pay asking price for it. So that's a good thing. And because she's an agent, she is willing to forego her commission, which turns out to be just a hair over 13 grand, I think. So, you know, that's not chump change, right? So, but the problem is, and I don't know that it's a problem yet. I don't know, but it's on contingency. The contingency being that they have to sell their house first. So, I mean, She doesn't think it will take more than 60 days at all because she's convinced that her house will sell. She's going to put it on the market on Friday. She's going to do some power washing and stuff. She's going to price it to sell, and she does not think it'll sit there long, maybe a week. So she doesn't even think we'll need 60 days. So I told my agent, I said, well, because, I said, the lady that looked at it today seemed kind of interested. I mean, she was here a long time. She kept going back to the same spots and looking again. So, yeah, I don't know. And then, I had her reach out to the elderly couple because I don't know if I told you or not, but it turned out that their house didn't need as much work as they thought. And they had a friend who was willing to buy their house in Galveston and pay cash for whatever the appraised value came back as. And so they would just move here. They could move here and pay cash. So, my agent told them, look, we've gotten a lot of, people are noticing this house. So, I guess because the interest rates are going, they're predicted to go lower or they have gone lower. I don't know. But so anyway, and he said, well, thank you for the heads up, because it's his parents. And thanks for the heads up, and I'll let you know. And we haven't heard anything. So, but, they're very much interested. Well, I'm trying to sell a house, and I would prefer to sell it to them. I mean, I really would. I mean, I'd rather take cash in the hand, even though this would be a better deal if it all worked out the way this agent thinks it will. If her house sells in a week, yeah, all that sounds great. But, there's a risk involved with that. Hang on, I got to move my cart around because I need some more of these. So, yeah, I don't know. But, I talked to my agent for quite a while. And so I said, well, I trust you and your judgment. And she said, well, I think at the end of the day, you'll have more money in the bank. I was like, yeah, this is true. But, there's so many variables, right? So her house has to sell. So I went and looked online. I went to our real estate group thingy, HAR, Houston Area Realtors, I guess, and found that neighborhood that she lives in. And there was maybe 10 listings, and most of them were quite old. I mean, like 90 days and more. And nothing, I mean, the price was reduced, but there was no, pending, option pending. There was none of that. Like if you go like into my neighborhood, most of the houses say pending, So, I'm like, just because you think your house is all that, and maybe it is. She said, she's on a lake, and one of the houses I did look at is on a lake. Now, having said that, the whole house is pretty much carpet, except for the kitchen and the bathroom. It's carpet everywhere, and most people do not like carpet. So it is the cheaper way to go when building a house. So I'm guessing that's why they did it. But in their backyard, her backyard's supposed to be, the envy of the neighborhood because it's just, they've decked it all out and I don't know what all. So she thinks that will sell the house right there. So, maybe it will. I mean, she seemed very excited, very much wanting the house. So I think she's serious. But, who can predict? I mean, I've gotten more interest in my house in the last, I don't know, 4 days, then I have the whole time. And, you know, I think people are banking on interest rates coming down. And, you know, you can buy more house than you used to could, you know. And so there's that. But we'll see. I mean, yeah. I don't know. But I'm nervous about it. I am. I mean, if somebody came to me and said, I'll give you asking price in cash, I would say sold. You know, even paying the, you know, the $13,000 in commissions, I would say that's no problem. Because it would be cash in the hand, right? What did I say about a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush? So, I don't know. But I told her to tell the agent to go ahead and, you know, submit an offer. And, you know, we'll see. So I think my agent's going to put in there that, you know, there's a non-refundable amount, you know. So if the house doesn't, because I'm like, you know, there's got to be something in there with a date, because, you know, I'm afraid that, you know, it'd be 6 months later. And I was like, no. So she said, okay, well, we'll give her 6 weeks. And I said, yeah, I don't mind making it shorter. I mean, extending it. I mean, if, you know, if she does get a contract in a week, you know, usually finances take 30 to 45 days, you know, to get all your paperwork together and the surveys and, you know, all the stuff, appraisals, all the stuff. So it takes lenders a little bit. And so, yeah, then I don't mind, you know, if she goes under contract and like, well, you know, we need another week, I'll be like, okay, that's fine. But I don't want to be the end of October, you know, and her still not have a bite, because, yeah, I mean, that's just not going to work for me. But she swears that this is the house for her. She loves it. Her husband loves it. And, well, he mostly loves the fact that it's at the golf course that he golfs on. So, but really she said it's for her, because, you know, this is the house that I've always wanted. So, you know, and I don't mean to brag, but it is a very comfortable home. I mean, I've done some things to it. Not a lot, but I have. I mean, I've put in plantation shutters, and I just think those look so good. And so, you know, I have done some things to it. So, yeah, I think that it's nice, you know, and it's got the wood floors throughout, except for in the bedrooms. The bedrooms I do have carpet, just because that's what I like. And it is upgraded carpet. It's not the builder grade, although it's not that great, but it's not the builder grade either. So, but yeah, I'm kind of sad because I really wanted the elderly couple to get it. But I mean, I need to be realistic, you know. I need to, I mean, we've invested a lot of money in this new house, and it would be nice to get some of my money back. So, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. And then Amanda did say, because, you know, once we move, Max's house will go on the market. You know, he lives right next door to me, so his house will go on the market. And, you know, she said, I'll just tell him that, you know, his house will go on the market. And it's a little bigger than mine. And it's a 4-bedroom. His house is the floor plan I would have picked out, but he picked it out. I let him choose which floor plan, and that's the one he picked out. And so I was like, okay, because it had the biggest kitchen. The kitchen is huge. And it has a huge walk-in pantry. My kitchen is not that big, and it has an afterthought of a pantry, in my opinion. And I need to change up my glue dot. And hang on, let me get my little cart. my little cart. Move it over here. Let's see, where are glue dots? So anyway, you know, for someone who doesn't even cook, I mean, he hardly uses the, gosh, where is my, hang on, aha, of course, it's in the last drawer. Is this the micro? No. Oh, that's the lines. No, no, no. So anyway, his has got a much bigger kitchen, which, and a much, you know, bigger pantry, which I think is pretty amazing. His utility room's even bigger than mine. Well, his house is bigger than mine. Now, his is a 4-bedroom, but one of the bedrooms, y'all, is so tiny. I mean, I would have made it into a study, not even put a closet in there, but you might be able, well, you would be able to fit a baby bed, right? I mean, but you're not, I think you'd be tight putting in a twin bed even. I mean, it's tiny. It's very tiny. So it's almost like, why did you do that? Why didn't you just make it a 3-bedroom and make those other 2 bedrooms bigger? Now, his guest bedroom up front of the house is big. It is a nice size. But, you know, yeah. That's the only problem with that one, in my opinion. But like I said, and I would have just, because he had an option of having a study. I did too. My house could have been a 4-bedroom, but I was like, I don't need a 4-bedroom, but what I would like is a study. So I went with the study. All right, I got a brand new glue dot here. I may have to, let's see. Oh, okay. You know, I hear people say they put like 3 glue dots, but if you're using the micro glue dots, all you need is 2 and just stick it right in there. You don't keep shoving it down in there, and it'll be fine. You'll have plenty. At least I've only used 2, and I've never had to cut anything. Now, when I first started doing glue dots, I didn't know about the micro glue dots, so I bought the regular ones, and those are just too big. Those are just too big. So, but yeah, I love the glue dots. You know, some people say they find them difficult to use, but I don't. I really do not. I like them. Now, I did try the glue dot lines for my multi-placer, and I think if you're doing like a 4-placer or even maybe a 6-placer, it would probably work better. But with an 8-placer, it doesn't fill up the whole thing, and I just never could get it to get it to work. It was just shy of being long enough, and yeah, I just never could get it to work. And, you know, I was like, I'll just go with putty. I like putty. You know, maybe I should give it another try, you know, and because a lot of times, you know, I give up real fast. It's like, no, I already do this and it works, so there's no point in changing. But I'm glad I tried glue dots because I love them. But it's got to be the micro. In fact, let's see. I think it says on there. Yep. Micro glue dots. Yep. So, and I just got them on Amazon. Again, if I can remember, I'll link them for you. I always say that, and then invariably somebody's like, what's that link? It's like, oh, darn it. Sorry. Because I forget. So, and then, I know it looks like I probably need to change out my putty, but I don't. It's just these ABs. Of course, I would rather them do this than stick to everything, because I have had them do that with regular putty, and that's frustrating. But anyway, I don't know if it made national news or not, but over in Deer Park, which is another suburb of Houston, you know. It's known for a lot of refineries. Well, in Pasadena is too. Well, first we didn't know, nobody knew what happened. There was just a valve for a natural gas line something had happened to it, and so it ignited, and the fire, y'all, watching this on the news as it unfolded was just insane. I was like, y'all, I mean, because they had the fire trucks out there just spraying water on the houses that backed up to this pipeline thingy. And that was really all they were doing, because there was no, it's like, we don't know, you know, is this, you know, is some other one's going to blow? We don't know. But they knew that would catch on fire, their houses. Well, across the street, okay, now there's no wind blowing the fire that way. It's going straight up. Thankfully, we had calm winds. But the heat of the fire set, I think, like 5 houses on fire just from the heat of the fire. And it was like, oh my God, these poor people. So then, I mean, these houses were smoking. There was 3 houses all together that I noticed that were smoking all to beat heck. And I was like, there is smoke coming out of the ridge vents in the roof, you know? And I'm like, that's just never good. That's just never good. So they brought in some ladder trucks, and I guess those water hoses have some serious pressure, because they were peeling the shingles off with that water hose and knocking off the plywood sheeting that goes on there. So all you could see were the rafters, and they're steadily shooting water into the rafters. And I'm like, oh, these poor people. Of course, you know, they weren't home. Everybody'd been evacuated. Or they may have been at work. Who knows, you know? I mean, most of the people there work. It's funny because it was Jacob's old neighborhood. So, yeah. But anyway, but the fire was so hot. Well, then witnesses said, because you could see a car, right? You could see a car that was close to it, and obviously it was incinerated, but that was close to it, and it did look like it had been crashed. So it was like, you know, first you're like, was this done intentionally? Was this an act of terrorism? If so, it's a weird act of terrorism. I mean, you know, I don't know, but okay. But then witnesses started saying no, that there was an elderly lady that she had glasses on. She looked elderly, and I guess they assumed she was a lady. I don't know. And she was driving very strangely in the parking lot of the Walmart, which was right next door. And she was going super, super slow. And they thought something must be wrong with her. Well, she ended up crossing over into this grassy area, not gassy, grassy area, and which is where the pipeline right-of-way is. And there's like 11 pipelines that run underneath there. And then apparently she just, for whatever reason, she just floored it. And she hit the valve. It started spewing, and of course, I guess from the impact, it automatically went kaboom. People said it sounded like, you know, a bomb going off, and it threw her car up in the air. So y'all, until that fire goes out, they can't get close to it. But, you know, I'm like, has somebody come forward and said, okay, as a matter of fact, we are missing a loved one, you know, and maybe they have, you know, they certainly probably have, and maybe they're talking to the police, you know, because, and I say that because the police had already ruled out terrorism, right? They were like, no, we do not believe this to be a terroristic threat. So what does that mean? Does that mean the people who witnessed it happen, they called 911 and said, here's what we saw? Or, you know, did the police talk to them afterwards and, you know, or later on and get more information? I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out more as time goes on. They're still being investigated. But, you know, my thing on it is, it was off of a highway. I mean, it's called Spencer Highway. It is a major, major road. It's 6 lanes with the center turn lane, right? I mean, it's it is big. It is very, very big. It's very, very crowded. And yes, once upon a time that area was out in the middle of nowhere. My son, I actually bought I bought it for him and his brother over there. And, they were steadily building all these new homes. In fact, one of the houses that caught on fire used to be a model home. And, I'm like, okay, I get it that all this stuff built up around these pipelines. Totally get that, because those pipelines were there whenever I bought that house. And my youngest son ended up buying it from me, and then he ended up selling it and moving here. So anyway, just to kind of give you a backstory on that. But like I said, Spencer is very busy, very busy. And, I'm surprised at this point someone hadn't crashed into it before, especially with people talking on their phones and stuff. And it's like, if we have something so major there that if it gets broken, it's going to spontaneously cause houses to combust. Yeah. Shouldn't we put something up other than a chain link fence? I don't know. Brick wall. Even our liquor stores have the metal posts coming out of the ground so you can't run into the store, Shouldn't that be with this? I don't know. I'm sure now somebody will say, well, we need to do something about this. Well, to me, it should have been one of those things that, you think ahead, like we cut down a lot of trees because they were leaning towards our house. Should we have waited until they fell on our house? No. So should you have waited until there was an actual accident? I don't think so. You had people that were evacuated. The little community college down the street couldn't go. They had to shelter in place. People were calling the police department from work, going, can someone please go to my house? Because they had the roads blocked off. Go get my dog, but, kick in the door, do whatever it is you need to do, but please get my dog, and how many people didn't even know? What if you were out of town? There's just so many things. And I'm thinking about these poor people. It's like you left this morning to go to work and you never once thought that, while you were gone, all your crap's going to be ruined. Their vehicles sitting out in the driveway. If your house is smoking, your vehicle in front of it is probably doomed as well. Your trees. And of course, the company that owns that particular pipeline, they've already set up, call here, with claims. But still, there are some things that are not replaceable, right? They're just not. Mementos, family pictures, maybe things that belong to your parents or grandparents or have, that have sentimental value. Those don't get replaced. Those do not get replaced. And so I think this would be a good opportunity for all of these pipelines. If there's not a neighborhood there, then fine, you can put that one on the back burner. But if there is, they definitely need to secure it better. And then going forward, before anybody can build a house or, build a Whataburger around there, that has to be fixed. So, I don't know, but that we just can't have that, right? In my opinion, that's just unacceptable. So, and then, and I was commenting because, like I said, Jacob used to live over there, and I was like, I am so glad that Jacob did not join, stay over there and join the Deer Park Fire Department, because I would be so worried. And, well, so I sent that, and I said, I'm so glad, that you are not. And he wrote back and he said, well, actually, I'm going there in a little bit as support. It's like, excuse me, what? Because I did see on the news, they were saying, oh, look, here comes a Friendswood truck. And I was like, Friendswood? well, if they're sending to Friendswood, they're going to send to League City, right? Yeah, so Max Sr. and I are like, we got to go give him a hug. We just got to, you know, because they already had one firefighter injured, you know. And so I was like, we got to go give him a hug and tell him we love him. Well, that surprised the hell out of him. So then he says that, no, they told him, because he was supposed to have a shift that night anyways. So they told him, no, that since he already had a shift that night, just to go ahead and do his shift, stay home and do his shift. But oddly, you know, and Max was like, I think he's telling us a story because he doesn't want us to lie. And I said, or he doesn't want us to worry. And I said, I don't think he would do that. I mean, yes, when he was a teenager, you could, if that boy's lips were moving, you knew he was lying. But it's like, you know, he's 33 now, and I just don't think he would do that. I mean, he goes to church, and surely, you know, he knows that God doesn't like that. But anyway, so he, but then this morning, you know, I sent him a text and said, how was your shift? And he didn't respond to that. Then I sent another text and said, because he was getting rid of a bed, and then it turns out my grandson, he's the one that's turning 20, would like a bigger bed. So I was like, y'all need to get together and give him that bed. And he was like, okay. You know, so he answered that question, right? He did not answer the shift. So his dad texted him too, how was your shift? No response. So I'm like, But, you know, it could be too that maybe his shift wasn't great and he didn't want to talk about it. I haven't been on Facebook today to look at, because I follow them on Facebook, to look and see if there was any issues last night. But I know he will not, like he'll get a call, or a call will come through on the scanner and he'll go, oh no. I'd be like, what is it? Nothing. I'm like, well, something, you know, no, nothing. Okay, you know, he just doesn't want to tell me. And I get it, you know, because he did tell me about a guy had passed out, or he had fainted. He was a heavy guy, and in his bathroom. And the daughter called in hysterics and saying that, you know, he won't move, he won't talk or anything. And so the fire department responds if they're obese because they need assistance, you know, in lifting them. And so Jacob was like, yeah. And he said, yeah, I don't know. I never saw any signs of life. And then it just broke my heart. And then the time that he had to go, I didn't know he was there. When a guy had lost control of his motorcycle and fell to the creek, fell off the bridge. He lost control, fell off the bridge to the creek below. And Jacob was working that. He said it was pretty gnarly. And he said what was hard was, you know, his family was there because they had been pinging his phone and they were like, it's right here. It shows that he's right here. Well, they couldn't see him the first time they went and looked because it was dark. And, but he was in the shrubs, the brush and stuff. And his motorcycle was laying on top of him. So he said that was the hardest part, was seeing his family out there. And I was just like, oh, that kind of stuff, man, it just, yeah, it's just, I find it devastating. I still think about him, you know, I don't even know what his people look like. And I'm like, I wonder how they're doing, you know, I wonder how they're hanging in there. I mean, that's like the worst damn nightmare is to lose a child. So I can't even, yeah. So, and that's why we worry about him. And he'll get it one day, I think, if he ever marries and has children. I told him at this point, I don't even care if he marries, just have some kids. Forget all that stuff I told you about morals. No. But he wouldn't, I don't think. But anyway. So, yeah. I worry about him. But whether or not he was there, I don't know. I think maybe later I'll go look on the Facebook page and see if anything happened overnight. I don't know. You know, the fire department also responds to wrecks. They have to clean up the mess. They have to block traffic. And I know when we had our wreck, fire department was out there, Johnny on the spot, and cleaning everything up. So that was very nice. So I don't know, y'all. Oh, when my kids were little, I thought, oh, you know, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. And then, you know, my grandmother would always say, oh, honey, today they're stepping on your toes. Tomorrow they'll step on your heart. And what she didn't continue to tell me was, for the rest of your breathing life. Like, ugh. No one tells you that, right? You think, I just got to get them up to 18. That's all I got to do. Nope. That's not how that works. Not how that works at all. Oh, these ABs are starting to irritate me now. And that's funny because I just commented in Crafty-ish. Oh, no, I was in my group. Yeah, I was in my group. By the way, I have a Facebook group if you're interested. It's... I'll try to remember to link it, but if I forget, it is in my bio on my YouTube channel. It's Diamonds and Doxies, if you want to look it up. That's the name of the group as well. But anyway, she was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of ABs. And she was like, I hate placing ABs. Well, yeah, I do too, but these have been so easy. And yeah, okay. And it's not that they're hard. I mean, I've had a lot more trouble placing them before, but, you know, they're not sticking very well. But I can promise you if I put new putty, they would stick too well. And then I'd have putty on my canvas, and I don't want that. So, yeah. Got to pick your battles, man. Pick your battles. So anyway, let's see. Anything else happening? Well, I have not bought anything. I want to order another Art and Soul because I would like to do the, I don't know that I'll have time, but the Reagan Kubicek, I think that's how you say her name. But I mean, this kit took 2 months to get, and a lot of people are saying they're only taking about a month, but, you know, what if they're taking 2 months and then I have moved, you know? Then what? So, yeah, so I'm trying to wait until after I know where I'm going to be. I don't know. One thing I do know is I don't ever want to move again. I said that when I moved here. Okay, but this, I'm moving for a good reason. And I do not ever want to do this again. And every time someone tells us about, you know, things we're doing to this house, our new house, well, for resale value, and I'm like, don't even mention that to me because I'm not interested. That is going to be up to the kids. They'll have to resell it, and that's not our problem. So there. But, I mean, I do appreciate that context, but I've already said you're going to have to carry me out in a wooden box because this is definitely my dream home. Some people might think that a dream home has to be a McMansion. This isn't a small house by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's 3,200 square feet, but it's not a McMansion either. The house we raised our kids in was 3,500 square feet, so Yeah. But it's perfect for us. And, yeah. The only thing I can see one day is not being able to go up the stairs, you know? And that's okay. That's perfectly fine, because then I just move all my diamond painting stuff downstairs. So it's no big deal. And then Max and I were talking, well, you know, maybe if it becomes necessary that we have to go to a home or something, that maybe the kids can hire somebody to stay with us and they could be upstairs, you know, have their own bathroom, have everything they need. So maybe. But neither one of us are like, no, we're just not leaving. And I don't think we'll ever have a reason to, because in front of us is well, I say in front, to the side of us, there's a cemetery, so it's not going anywhere, with a church attached, so it's not going anywhere. And then right behind us is a Catholic church, has been there, I think, for 60 years. It's not going anywhere. And we have deed restrictions, so you can't, you know, this is completely zoned for residential use only, so we don't have to worry about somebody selling and trying to put a business in there, because it won't work. You can't do that. So, yeah. So I think we'll be just fine. And besides, the older we get, the worse our hearing will be, right? That's what I tell myself. But I hope it's not too bad, because I want to be able to hear the birds. So, and I didn't have my binoculars with me today, and I did see a bird that I didn't recognize, but I only saw it with my glasses on. So, and it was quite a ways up in the tree, so I don't know what it was. But I want to keep going over there, because we should be getting the fall migration here pretty soon, and I don't want to miss that. So anyway, where was I? So no, have y'all bought anything? I have not. There's been nothing released. Not that I don't want, it's just nothing that I felt like I need to have right now, because I would just have to pack it away. I mean, get it and pack it away. And so now, if it was something that I absolutely did not want to miss out on, you know, didn't want to find out that, oh no, it's been, you know, discontinued, or something I just absolutely had to have, then certainly I would buy it. But there's been nothing like that. There have been some that I'm like, oh, I like that. And if it's still around in 6 months or so, then I'm going to get it. But I mean, so many kits that I've bought because I really like them, they've been restocked. And so it's like, you know, see, I still have them in my stash, haven't worked on them. It's like I could have waited, and, you know, but I'm learning, you know, the more I diamond paint, the more I learn. Don't, you know, have to have every painting that you think is pretty. You don't have to have all of the paintings that are gorgeous to you. You know, you'll never be able to work on them all. So, and I am definitely, once we get moved, I am definitely going to destash. I do plan on giving some away to, you know, to subscribers. I mean, I plan on doing that anyway when I hit 500, but I don't know when that's going to be. I mean, that could be next year, or it could never be, right? But, yeah, I hope so. I hope I do. Not for any other reason, so I can do giveaways. I guess I could do giveaways anytime, couldn't I? There's no rules. Uh-oh. This is a bad drill. I will say that there has been some trash in these drills. You kind of expect it, though, with ABs and some of the darker colors. I don't know why, but I mean, the ABs I get because they have a coating on them, but which is what makes them so dang difficult to pick up. In hindsight, I probably, because you can choose if you want ABs and fairy dust, and well, it's not fairy dust, it's soul dust. In hindsight, I would have said no to ABs. didn't really even need the sole dust, because, I mean, the ones that are on here, very few. So, yeah, I think next time I'll go with, nope, don't want any. I mean, I think they're pretty and all, but honestly, on some of my kits that I've done, I used to just get placement drills instead of the ABs, because I was like, especially like on landscapes, it's like, I mean, I get it if the fire's a little shiny or something, but I'm like, that just really takes away from the painting, in my opinion. So, but then, then you got people who, put bunches of ABs and stuff. So, again, no right or wrong way, just however you like to do it. So I would like to know what you were doing while I was chatting to you. When I listen to WIP and Chats, I diamond paint. I know a lot of people like to use them as like a podcast while they're cleaning. They put headphones on or something and cleaning, or maybe in the grocery store, or driving on a trip, or whatever, just to have someone to keep them company that you don't really have to watch. And then I also know some people do watch on TV. When I first started diamond painting, I did, because I wasn't really sure what I was doing. And so I was trying to learn just by watching, and I did. But now I just, occasionally I'll look up, to see what they're working on. But for the most part, I'm doing diamond painting. But I'm curious, what have you been doing? Have you been working on diamond painting? Have you been doing knitting or crocheting or cleaning? I do like to listen to something while I'm cleaning. Makes it go by so much easier, so much quicker. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you were doing. I'd be happy to know. And then I think, let's see, I'm planning on finishing this up, hopefully, by the end of October. You know how hard that's been for me lately. Because I want to start on Muka Mania that Anthony from Single and Placing is doing. Because I have a couple of Alphonse Mukas that I have that I can do. And one of them is from a new to me shop. I think it's the Diamond Painting Shop. So it's, I've had it for a while, but I haven't done it. So I'm hoping that, did I mess up and put one? I think that's okay. I'm hoping that I'll be done in time. I currently do not have room to have 2 WIPs going, so I can only do one at a time. And plus, I think that one starts on November 1st. And I think we're going to try, put it in the contract that we will close on November 1st. So, yeah, I may be moving on November 1st. I don't know. But I really want to do that event. I think it's just a paint along, But I want to support Anthony. So we'll see. We shall see. I'm just about done with these ABs. And, yeah, I think I'm going to move on. So, Kristen, if you're watching, you jinxed me, man. Nah, you didn't. I jinxed myself. But anyway, come on. Come on. There. But, yeah, you can see the grid is nice. So, I am loving it. Getting that popping sound, which I love. I know there's a couple of people who don't really care for a tight grid, but I do. So anyway, y'all, okay, well, that does it for the AB, so I'm going to call it done for now. And I've got to do some things around the house and upload this video as being one of them. And I got to come up with a thumbnail. I don't know. I feel like y'all might be getting tired of the same old thumbnails. But I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad that you were here. I hope that you will consider subscribing if you're not already. And I also hope that you'll hit the thumbs up button. You know, I'll have like 120 views, 140 views on a video, and I'll only have like 15 likes. I don't know if that's because people don't like it or if it's because they just don't take the time. And I understand, because I used to be there, but it really does help. So if you could give the video a thumbs up, you know, supposedly it helps. And besides that, then because I do think, well, you know, am I doing something wrong? You know, and as always, I ask for, you know, any kind of feedback. If you've got some positive feedback, absolutely, I'd love to hear it. But also, if you have some constructive criticism, please, I'd love to hear that too, because I'd like to get better, and I can't get better if I don't know where I'm lacking. So please feel free to let me know. And everyone, today is Tuesday evening for me, so I hope you had a great day, or if you're listening in the morning, great morning or night, a great night, great week, great weekend, whichever it is. And I will see you in my next upload.